All right, so we have 5 times y equals 25. And I said we're going to use this thing called inverse operation. What does inverse mean? Opposite. So if this says 5 times y, what's the opposite of times? Division. Let's divide by 5. And what we do to one side of an equation, I have to do to the other. Now, do not get trapped in doing one, solving it, and then doing that. I've seen a lot of students go through this and they forget it sometimes. Don't do any math until you've done divided by 5 divided by 5. Okay? Now, what's 5 divided by 5? So we know that these cancel out, leaving me just y. What's 25 divided by 5? Now, the beauty of equations, we get to check our answer. And we're going to check our answers by substituting in this value right here for my y up here in my original problem. So we have 5 times 5 equals 25. What's 5 times 5 equal? 25. 25 equal 25? It does. So give yourself a little check mark. Good job. If you go to check a problem and you have some number here that's not the same, you did it wrong, start again. Now, I want you guys to notice how much space I just used. Is that a little bit of space or a lot of space? Do not short yourself on paper. Do not short yourself on paper. Don't try and minimize how much. Use the paper. The more thorough you do this, the better the problems are going to be. All right, another example I want to do. Let's just make one up. How about 6p minus 13 equals 17. Let's just try that. All right. Now remember how I said in order of operations we always have to do parentheses, exponents, the multiplication, division, then adding, subtraction, right? When we're solving an equation, we're going in the backwards order. So the first thing we're going to try and do is get everything moved to one side or the other and get that letter all by itself. So in this case, we're going to have to get rid of this negative 13 over here, right? How do I get rid of $13 deficit in my bank account? I add $13. Well, let's try it. Notice I didn't do any work. I put it under both. And I promise you, I'm saying this to everybody. Everybody can hear me. Some of you will not do that. And that's where it'll cause problems. All right, now let's do some math. 6p plus 0. Negative 13 plus 13. Well, that's done. And what's 17 plus 13? I want you to notice something else. There's a big gap here. Why do you think there's a big gap there? Because I'm trying to line everything up. Keep everything organized. If I do that, my work's going to be neater, and I'm going to make far fewer mistakes. All right, 6p equals 30. So what does that mean again? Someone answered this earlier. 6 times a number, or 6p, 6 times p equals 30. So what's the opposite of times? Division. And we're going to do it by 6 because we want to get the p all by itself. Our goal is to get p equaling something. All right. These divide. Gives me p equals, what's 30 divided by 6? 5. Everybody agree? Well, even if you don't, let's check our work. 6 times 5 minus 13 equals 17. 6 times 5? 30 minus 13. And it works. Pretty cool? All right. These are basic problems. Now, what I want you to look at this time is I want to make a problem up, and I really can't tell you how often this freaks everybody out. But let's say I have give me a numbers. Let's say we have 8 divided by x equals 12. I'm pulling numbers out. I really have no idea about this, okay? I have to solve, you have to tell me what x is gonna equal 8 divided by whatever number this is, it's gotta equal 12. So how in the world am I gonna solve that? These steps you need to follow. If you get a fraction, this side or that side, the first thing you do is multiply both sides by whatever the bottom is. Happens to be an x. So multiply by, we're trying to get rid of that fraction. So x divided by x. X divided by x. 1. Good. All right. See if anybody's still awake. 12 times x. 12x. Everybody good? Now, gotta do just the opposite. We gotta get rid of it. So x is equal to 8/12, which is 2/3. Right? Divide each by 4. 4 times 2 is 8. 4 times 3 is 12. So now I got a fraction in there. Does that make sense? Well, let's find out. Back to our original problem, divided by 2/3 equals 12. Anybody remember how to divide fractions? It goes like this. 8 divided by 2/3. True or false? Now I have to change it to multiplication. So I have to flip the second term, a little refresher there. And this was, by the way, equal 12. 8 times 3. (24) divided by 2. Hey. The secret to this is always multiply both sides by whatever the bottom is. If it's a number, great. If it's a letter, great. It's what we were doing when we were dividing polynomials. We were basically simplifying because we had the same term on the denominator as up in the numerator, so I could cancel it out, making it 1/1. So far, so good? Might be the longest lecture I've ever done. But I want to make sure you get this. All right, let's practice a little bit.